Welcome to This Week in Baseball Player Profiles, as we're going to do a special this week. We're going to bring in some high school coaches and talk about the preview of the season, and we're going to discuss the rivalries between the two schools. So starting off with us will be the head coach from Maize High School, Rocky, and from Maize South, Coach Christensen. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for coming in on this raining morning. Like I said, I have a few questions. We're going to discuss your guys' team and a preview of your guys' team. The first question is, Rocky, tell us about your background in coaching.
Oh boy. Started in 1989 with Dave Bingham at KU. 2 years with him. He actually asked me to stay. Back then they had a restricted earnings guy, and he gave me an opportunity to do that with not a lot of money, and I was eventually getting married. My wife said, either you stay or go, and I stayed, so I didn't do that. So I came back and I worked at Boeing for a little while, and then got an opportunity to coach at Maize in 1992, and have been there ever since. And then I became a head coach in 1999.
Okay. Coach Christensen?
So I started at Maize with Larry Harvington. I think it was probably 2-3 years. I started in '96, and then Rock took over that program, and I was with him for 12, and then the last 10 or 11 at Maize South High School. So mine's not as extensive as Rock's.
It's all good though.
So last season, COVID affects does a lot because you didn't get a chance to start your season. How did that affect your team last season and moving forward into this year?
I thought our team last year, and my coaches probably agree, we probably had one of the best leadership teams that have come through our program. I don't say this a lot about a lot of our teams, but I thought we had a state tournament team with the abilities we had, the kids behind them. That hurt, not being able to see those kids compete. And I think it's taken for our seniors this year as a motivational piece to grab these juniors and bring them along. I'm excited to see what they're going to do for us this year.
Okay. Rock, same question.
I think our group last year, they were hungry because our 2019, we didn't perform like we had hoped we wanted to perform. And I think they wanted to get back on the field to show they could do things the right way. They were a great group of guys, and I felt sorry for them. They didn't get an opportunity to do their senior year. What I hope in the short time I had those guys is the younger guys that we now have this year kind of got a feel of how they practice and how they went about doing their business, because they really did it the right way, even though we only had 10 practices or 10 days with them, whatever it was. And I'm hoping the new guys can carry that on as well. And it'd always be kind of a hole that I didn't get to see those guys do what I think they could do.
Right. Exactly.
So tell us about your expectations for this season.
I don't know that they're any different than what we always try to do. We always try to get our guys prepared to, whoever we face, we try to schedule the toughest teams we can face. Our expectations obviously are to battle every game with them. We may not win them all. But we hope at the end of the year that we're playing our best baseball for the postseason run.
And Coach Christensen?
That's exactly right. We try to schedule things that are tough so when we get to the postseason, our kids are battle tested. Hopefully this younger group that didn't have senior leadership last year, they understand the dynamics of the program, that you're going to come with a workman-like attitude and you're going to play Maize baseball. So I think the group that we have as seniors this year understand that and can provide that leadership to the younger kids.
And you brought up the group itself. Tell us about some of your top players. Give us a preview of some of your players.
Probably some of the top players we have coming back. Harper Kennedy, he's going to kind of be a jack of all trades for us. Not real sure where he's going to play, but he's going to be on the field. We've got a few pitchers. We were just talking about it. What arms do we have? I don't know. We've got some pitchers that I think we can lean on, from Josh Queen to Keegan McFarland, and then some of our younger guys like Colin Johnson, Owen Bailey, probably a couple of our better two juniors that are going to have to step in and play. They played a little bit their freshman year. Not having that sophomore year, it's hard to see how a junior is going to react when actually put in the fire and expected to compete when the time comes. So I think we've got some kids that can play. It's just losing that season last year. I think we're all in the same boat. What's it going to look like?
All right. Rocky, some of your top players?
I mean, it's like Chad said, you know, I'm gonna go with some of the guys that I guess they got a little bit of varsity experience a couple years ago. Scott Adams is one of ours that's coming back, an outfielder. Miles Hartman, he'll be a utility infield catching kind of guy, could be pitching. Gavin Jervich, he got some time a couple years ago. You know, very motivated to do things again. Trying to think who else we have. Mitchell Casement. I think if I looked at the stats right, he might be our returning pitcher with a couple thirds of an inning as a sophomore. But you know, we're going to fill in with some other seniors that were a couple years ago were JV guys as well. We're going to fill in with juniors that, you know, we have pretty good junior class coming back that'll fight for those spots. But really, from what I know right now, I can tell you those are the guys that just have some varsity experience in the past. So obviously there'll be a few guys that pop up that I don't know about.
I understand.
So, Maize South, how long has Maize South been around?
11 years.
How long?
11 years.
11 years. So, it's a little bit of a rivalry here then, Maize South.
A little bit.
Yeah. So tell us about the rivalry, Rock.
Well, Chad and I might do things a little bit different because every 2 years our schedule comes out and they change the schedule with who we play. And really what Chad and I did, and we talked quite a bit, whenever we drew Maize South on the schedule early, we just felt it wasn't a great benefit to play against each other. And so what we would do is we would either go, him and I, we would go to Kansas City and play 2 teams, or we would bring some teams here and play 2 teams. And it's not that we were avoiding the rivalry, we were just trying to get ourselves in a situation that would benefit us, you know, kind of for the postseason. And I think we've only met twice so far, and they happen to be both postseason. They weren't during the regular season. So this is actually the first year that we'll play during the regular season.
Okay. Pose the same question to you.
Yeah, you know, the 2 times we have played have been some of the best postseason baseball games that we've been a part of, whether it was first round of state or regionals to get to state. I mean, it wasn't, it came down to really the last innings to see who was going to advance. Kind of like Rock said, we didn't see it as a benefit. You know, when we look at our programs, it's how do I get kids to the next level? Going into Oklahoma so those kids can be seen through Oklahoma. Kansas City, we go to Emporia, having those opportunities for college coaches around the states to see our kids. But we're looking forward to having the opportunity now to be in the same league and having the opportunity to play. I think it's going to allow, if we can get it set up where we're playing like he does with Carroll, where we're getting 1 game with our JV in front and the varsity behind, even getting our young kids seen as people show up to watch varsity play, to get to watch some JV kids also. So I'm excited about it. You know, when you talk about Maize High, you're talking about one of the better programs in the state of Kansas, longevity-wise, and so it's just a measuring stick for our program and our kids to say, look, here you go, and let's hit it around the yard a little bit and see who wants to win.
So in other sports, is it a big rivalry in other sports as well? Football, basketball?
I would say football probably the most. I'm not so sure about basketball, and then baseball-wise, you know, when you think about Maize High, you think about baseball, and I'm hoping there's a rivalry there,
right,
between the 2 programs.
Okay.
Last question here. I know you guys haven't played each other a lot. Give me one memory of one of your games against Maize South.
Oh boy.
I'll let you think, because I got one.
You have one?
I got one. So we're playing, two years ago out at Maize South.
Okay.
I don't remember what player it was of yours that hit the ball to left field. My left fielder ran into the fence, about knocked himself out, and I think it was an inside the park.
Yeah, you're
and
right.
That to me that stood out because that was really the game changer.
Okay.
There were too many runs put up in that one instance for us to try to whittle back those runs late into the game. That's what stood out to me. I mean, granted, our kid did everything he had, ran into the fence to try to catch that ball, but that was the game.
Yeah. Rock?
I do remember that. Because I remember him being all bloody and everything.
Yes.
It was crazy. That one sticks out. I don't, probably the first time we met that might stick out the most for me wasn't who won the game. It was, because it would have been the first matchup in the state tournament, I believe. It was more or less because the state tournament was at Wichita State, and it was amazing how many people came out to watch the game. Because
Yeah.
I don't know what the number was, but if I were guessing, I was going to say 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, something like
nuts,
that. It
yeah.
was crazy. And people would hoot and holler on every pitch from either side, and it didn't matter what was going on. And obviously, automatically, that got you locked in a little bit more to the game. And all of a sudden, you go, whoa, this could be kind of fun. And it was another, maybe it was a one-run game, something like that. I don't remember. Late.
You got to double down the line.
And so, you know, really, we hung on at the very end, and I think he had guys in scoring position, and a guy hits a hard hit ball, and we get an out and get out of it, and lucky. But I mean, the biggest thing that I remember was how many people were there, just going kind of nuts.
Well, I'd like to thank you guys for coming in and giving us
You
a
bet.
short preview of your guys' team, and good luck to the season.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
very
you, guys.
much.